Welcome back to CP's Garage, where today we are going to install Forscan on our cell phone. I recently got a new phone because I destroyed mine in a bicycle crash with Mr. Cliff. Needless to say, that was my first black trail I've ever been down, so it is what it is. But now I got a fancy new phone with better picture quality. So we get to install Forscan for the first time. I'll go through how to do that right now with
So first we'll go to our Google Play Store. We'll type in Forscan. Type in Forscan, search for it. We will install it, but it will likely say buy for you guys if you haven't installed it yet. So we'll install. We'll go through the process of installing. Now that Forscan is installed, we can click on it. Now that you clicked on the icon, bring it up into Forscan, this is kind of what it'll look like. I'll show you all this. You'll need to make sure your OBD2 connector is paired to your phone. If you're on Apple, you'll likely have to use a Wi-Fi version, because I haven't heard of any Bluetooth ones other than the ones recommended on Forscan's website to work. So if you need a good recommendation for OBD2 connector, go to Forscan's website. They have all of them. So first, foremost, if you haven't done that, make sure you go and connect your Bluetooth. But once your Bluetooth is connected, you go to settings. Just kind of like the whole thing with the Torque app, you need to make sure you got the right Bluetooth connector connected, and this one is already there. Because if you don't do it, you won't ever connect to the vehicle. So we will now connect to the vehicle. We'll turn the key on, and then we'll hit the little plug button in the top corner. Now the vehicle's connecting. You see it in the orange, then it pops up, what is your vehicle? Mine is a model year 97. You can still see the little wheel turning, so it's still trying to connect. Now the vehicle's connected, it shows it's green. We can come in here and confirm that by looking at it. It'll show your model year, displacement, generation, fuel type, and what modules are on your vehicle. And this will work from the 94.5 7.3s all the way up to the brand new Super Duties. So this is even for you guys with the Super Duties. And obviously the guys with the Super Duties will need the ability to switch between the cans. So you need to get a OBD2 connector that is able to switch. Mine has a manual switch. Some of them are automatic, depending on the money you want to spend on it. So we'll go back. We can check what we've done so far. And it's showing that there's DTCs in the PCM that did not show up on Torque Pro. Let's look at them. So we got an exhaust back pressure sensor malfunction and a power interruption. We can use this to diagnose our trucks. All we need to do is go to the dash. I like using the dashboard more than the graph and the table, honestly. But the graphs and table are pretty good to use too. To add PIDs, you just hit the gear. And since I only have the PCM, we hit the plus. And we go through and add our PIDs. We can go accelerator pedal, barrow. We could do boo. We can do exhaust back pressure. We can't do engine coolant. I'll even show you because it'll show -40 if you read it. Engine oil temperature. And I like this because you can do voltage as well, engine oil voltage. That helps with diagnosing wiring problems. Exhaust pressure regulator. Don't really need that. Fuel pump, there's no fuel pump on this. You could do gear commanded. There's no fan, no exhaust heater. We can do intake air temp. And we can do voltage. We can do injector pressure and injector pressure voltage. Do that. You can do that. We can do map. We can do manifold gauge pressure, which is boost. We can do RPM. Just remember, the more PIDs you put on your list, the slower they're going to be able to update. So when you're diagnosing stuff, you want to try to keep them to the least amount of PIDs as possible. We can do V-power of that. We can do vehicle speed if we wanted. We can do AC command as well. We'll just hit the back button. We'll hit the back button again. We can zoom in and zoom out so we can see all our PIDs. So let's start the truck. And I can already see a problem. And that's KPA and the temperature readings. But we'll start the truck. So truck started. Now, truck started, we're connected to this. All we need to do now is hit the play button. And we can just watch everything go. You can see the brake switch turn on off. We can, and I guess the AC command doesn't work on this one. Doesn't surprise me with this being a 7.3. So let's change our pressures to actually being something us here in the United States can read. So we will click on the PID that we want, change it to PSI. We'll just go back, and we can keep doing this because unfortunately I do not believe there's a way of changing it all at once. Oops, we don't want voltage on that one anyways. Take air temp, we want in Fahrenheit. Injection control pressure, we want in PSI. That's going to be in percentage. This should be voltage. Manifold gauge pressure. Oops, map. That one needs to go away anyway. So manifold gauge pressure, we want in PSI. Everything else should be good. So now we should be able to go back here and do this again. Look at that. Everything is reading as it should. And you can see EOT or ECT is very far off from our actual EOT. EOT is the closest thing you'll find to a coolant temperature gauge on most of the 7.3s. There are a few 7.3s that does have an ECT sensor, but that is the exception to the rule and not the rule. So we should be able to start this and see everything change again. And you can actually see that the barrel is way off for where I'm at. I'd be like almost underwater. So this is the great part of Forscan, because you can use it for diagnosing a vehicle after you figured out what the codes are. But to figure out what codes are, we can go to tests. We can run key on, engine off. We can run output state tests. We can run a key on engine running test. We can do contribution tests. We can do output test. But we can do this, hit play, and it'll run an injector self-test. They're out there buzzing right now. Don't have to buy a $500 scan tool to do this. It's awesome. System passed. We can go back down to tests, go over to tests, then we can do a output state test. Make sure everything's within parameters and press play. Press and hold the accelerator pedal. And then you just let it go through do its thing, and we'll see what DTCs we get. And this is a pretty long test, so we'll be back when it's complete. Alright, now the test has completed. Just the 2 DTCs that we had earlier, which the exhaust back pressure sensor circuit malfunction I should probably look into. I haven't seen that code on my list of DTCs at all, so that's something new to me. And that didn't even turn on the check engine light. So just a heads up to you Diesel 73 guys. May want to check your codes every now and again, but we can go back to the log and it shows us what we've done, our tests. I don't have the truck hot enough to do a contribution test, plus that takes forever to do. Same with the key on engine running self-test. You gotta have up to temp and everything for it to run. We can look at our mode 6 monitors, which on this, it's not even a thing. Service, there usually will be some stuff here for newer vehicles. Mine, all I can do is reset adaptations. 7.3s are pretty basic. But we can look at the graph version of all our PIDs, just kind of a different format. And that's the same with the table. The graph is really good when you're trying to find an electrical problem, because you can use the graph to see the sensor and you can wiggle it and see if you have any kind of movement in the sensor. Kind of like just pressing the brake, you can see the change in it pretty quick. Or hitting the accelerator pedal, you can see the change. And that's really good for trying to find an intermittent electrical fault. As we were saying before I was rudely interrupted, you can easily diagnose intermittent concerns with these graphs by shaking wires and monitoring that specific PID, since it'll be the quickest with only one PID available. And you could even use it with the voltage PID or the pressure PID, because this will see it either way. So once you're done looking at the PIDs that you're wanting to look at, make sure you hit the stop button, because if you don't, you can't do anything else. So we'll go back. We'll go to errors next. So errors, biggest thing here is you got the magnifying glass, you got the circle, and the trash can. You can also save them. The magnifying glass is what's going to run the self-test looking for errors. Currently there's nothing. The triangle little circle is how you reset the DTCs. You'll hit that, you'll hit yes, you'll cycle the key on, you'll cycle the key off, then back on, and you will hit OK. No error codes. You can also clear all data by hitting the trash can. You can save them if you need to. Don't know why you would need to do that, other than maybe to send it to like Aaron at PTT or me. Logs, that's just going to show us everything we've done since we've logged into it. This is how Hotline gets you right here, because IDS and FDRS has logs, and we can go back and see what's going on. Vehicle information we've already gone through. You can save this as a Word file. It can come important like when you're looking for strategy or hardware type, when you're trying to get a Hydra or something for your computer. Other than that, actually we can change measurement right there to imperial. Sorry. We can change the instrument colors if we wanted. I'll change mine to blue. Other than that, that is basically a simple rundown of how to use Torque Pro. I'm currently on this version, but I'm sure there'll be many different versions by then. When you're ready to connect from the vehicle, just hit that. They'll ask you if you want to. Hit yes.
Alright, that was a simple run through of Forscan on your cell phone. Next we'll do the computer. I'll have to wait for the wife to get back because that vehicle has way more stuff on it than mine. The hybrid has a lot more modules in it. I can actually show you the difference and how you switch back and forth between medium and high-speed cans, which is different than my truck. I only have a PCM, so unfortunately I drive a dinosaur. What can I say? But if you own a Ford, you need Forscan and you need to have Torque Pro. Personally, Torque Pro is great for monitoring, sucks as diagnosing. Forscan is great for diagnosing, but I think it sucks as a monitor. I have problems with my truck trying to shut off when it monitors it because of the whole not OBD2 compliant kind of deal. But anyways, be sure to like, comment, share, subscribe. See you in the next one.